In this video, I'm going to be going over how to properly cycle natural testosterone boosting supplements for maximum effectiveness and reducing side effects. So let's get started. Now on this channel, I've gone over testosterone a lot and all these supplements individually, but in this video, we're just going to go through all of them together and then see how they're supposed to be cycled. But first, let's go over how testosterone is supposed to be tested in blood levels so that you know which biomarkers are important and which ones you should be testing or asking your doctor to test for you when you go in for a blood panel. Now, the main one is total testosterone. However, that does not give us a full picture of everything that's going on in regards to testosterone inside of your body. We also want to measure free testosterone and sex hormone binding globulin because we care about how much testosterone is not bound to proteins so that they can go to the target receptors and have an effect on the body. By just testing total testosterone, all we know is how much testosterone is inside the body. We have no idea how much of that is free and how much of that is bound to something like sex hormone binding globulin. So when you do these three tests, total testosterone, free testosterone, and sex hormone binding globulin, you can get a better picture of what's going on inside of your body. You want your total testosterone to be optimal, your free testosterone to be optimal, and your sex hormone binding globulin to be optimal as well. For example, you don't want total testosterone to be optimal, but sex hormone binding globulin be high and free testosterone be low, because that won't really solve any of your problems. That means that you don't have enough free testosterone roaming around in the blood. So you want all three of these levels to be optimal and on the higher end for free testosterone. Now, the other two biomarkers we care about are LH, which is luteinizing hormone, and FSH, which is follicle stimulating hormone. These two are important when you want to measure hypogonadism because they'll tell you if it's primary or secondary hypogonadism. And hypogonadism just means you have low testosterone levels. So if your total testosterone is low, but your LH and your FSH are on the higher end or optimal, then that means you might have primary hypogonadism because your testes are not producing enough testosterone. However, if your total testosterone is low and your LH and FSH are also low, then you might have secondary hypogonadism, meaning your hypothalamus or pituitary gland are not stimulating the testes to produce enough testosterone. But all of this should be diagnosed by a qualified healthcare provider like a physician and not kind of on your own by doing your own blood test. Now that we got that out of the way, let's go over all these natural testosterone boosting supplements. So the main ones that we're going to go over are Tonkat Ali, Ashwagandha, Shilajit, and Boron. And again, I have videos detailing all of these supplements individually, and I'll link them in the description for you to check out after this one. But the first one we're going to go over is Tonkat Ali. Now this one works by upregulation of enzymes that are involved in testosterone production, and they block some estrogen receptors which suppress testosterone production. Basically, testosterone and estrogen are kind of working against each other. So the higher your estrogen, most likely that lower your testosterone. So if we can suppress the estrogen receptors, then we can increase testosterone levels. And also if we upregulate the enzymes that are directly involved in increasing testosterone production, then obviously we can stimulate testosterone production. So that's the mechanism of Tonkat Ali. Now this study here titled Effective Tonkat Ali on Stress Hormones and Physiological Mood State in Moderately Stressed Subjects. We see the results from this study showing a 37% increase in testosterone, along with a 16% decrease in cortisol, 11% decrease in tension, 12% decrease in anger, and 15% decrease in confusion. Now, just like estrogen and testosterone, cortisol and testosterone also kind of go against each other as well. The higher your cortisol levels, the lower your testosterone. So that's something to keep in mind as well when it comes to testosterone and stress. Now, in terms of dosing, Tonkat Ali usually comes in a 100-to-1 extract, which basically just means for every 1 gram of Tonkat Ali, you have 100 grams of the root powder. Now, when it comes to efficacy and what you really care about when it comes to Tonkat Ali, you care about the extracts. Now, there's this supplement here by Nootropics Depot, which has 2% or a 10% formulation. Now, what this means is that every single supplement has been made sure to have at least this much of uricoma in the supplement so that there really isn't any guessing as to how much of the extract is inside of the supplement. Now, if you do want to buy another brand, if this is too expensive or the side effects are not something you can tolerate, then you want to buy from a different reputable company that has at least 300 to 400 milligrams of the extract in each serving, so that you're getting a good enough amount of Tonkat Ali in your system. Now, the next one we're going to go over is Ashwagandha, and the active component in Ashwagandha is called withanolides. This is what you really care about when you're looking for a good Ashwagandha supplement. Now, the mechanism of Ashwagandha is that it indirectly increases testosterone by decreasing cortisol, which, as I mentioned before, decreasing cortisol can increase testosterone levels. It can increase thyroid hormone, which indirectly stimulates LH release, which increases testosterone. and it can increase serotonin signaling. Now, when it comes to ashwagandha, there's 4 main types that you can buy. There's the dry root powder, there's the basic extract, there's KSM 66 and Sensoril. Now, the last 2 are the most popular ones, but I will go over the dosing for each one. Now, the first one is the basic extract, which usually comes in 1 to 2.5% with analides, which again is the active component. The dosing for this is 500 to 1000 milligrams daily. Then we have the root powder, which usually has 0.5% with analides, and the dose for this is usually 1 to 3 grams daily. And then the 2 more common ones are KSM 66 and Sensoril. KSM 66 has 5% with analides, Sensoril has 10% with analides, and then KSM 66 is usually taken at 300 to 900 milligrams daily, whereas Sensoril is taken at 100 to 500 milligrams daily. Now, it's been reported that KSM 66 has a more stimulating property, providing more energy, whereas Sensoril has a more sedating property. So depending on which way you want to go with your ashwagandha supplementation, you'll pick either KSM 66 or Sensoril, as I think those are the 2 best formulations for this supplement. And also keep in mind that if you are taking the higher dosing ranges from what I gave, so for KSM 66, I gave a dosing range of 300 milligrams up to 900 milligrams daily. You probably want to divide that into basically 2 or 3 times in a day. You don't want to take all 900 milligrams all at once. You want to take 300 milligrams 3 times a day or 300 milligrams twice a day and so on. Now, the next one I'm going to go over is Shilajit, which is a very popular supplement for boosting testosterone and boosting energy. And the way that this works is that it can increase GABA and dopamine levels. And this study here showed good increases in total and free testosterone by 20.4 and 19.1% respectively. Now, the dosing for Shilajit is 300 to 500 milligrams daily. And the reason why a lot of people do like Shilajit as their main testosterone boosting supplement is that it also has good effects on boosting energy. So you kind of get a good double effect, especially if you take it in the morning. You get a boost in testosterone and a boost of energy first thing in the morning. Now, the next one we're going to go over for boosting testosterone is boron. This one has also a good effect, and studies have shown that doses of 10 milligrams per day do cause an increase in testosterone levels. So we want to keep that in mind because lower doses under 10 milligrams a day, such as 6 milligrams or 3 milligrams a day, are usually used for osteoarthritis and not testosterone boosting. So keep that in mind when picking or supplementing with a boron supplement. Okay, great. Those are the 4 main testosterone boosters that I wanted to go over. So now let's go over cycling. And there's 2 main types of cycling. There's macrocycling and there's microcycling. Macrocycling is basically taking the supplements for an extended period of time. So taking it for about 2 months or 3 months and then taking off 1, 2, or 3 weeks to kind of let your body kind of go back into homeostasis. Microcycling is more of short bursts of taking the supplement and then having a short 1, 2, or 3 day off period. A popular way to microcycle is basically 2 months off, 1 month off, or even 2 weeks off. And then a popular way of microcycling is 5 days on, 2 days off. Now, the reason why you want to cycle to begin with is because you don't want to build tolerance and have to keep increasing your dose. So you kind of have those off days to kind of let your body go back into homeostasis, and then you can re-up and restart the supplement. These supplements don't have much long-term data on them, so we don't know long-term side effects or long-term tolerance effects. So in general, it's a good idea to cycle these. Now, something to keep in mind with cycling is that it becomes more and more important the higher the dose of the natural herb that you're taking. So for example, for ashwagandha, we gave a 300 milligram to 900 milligram dose range. So if you're only taking 300 milligrams a day, then you probably don't have to be as aggressive with your cycling than if you were taking 900 or even 1200 milligrams per day. So just keep in mind, the higher the dose, the more frequently you're going to want to cycle. Now, with that being said, Tonkat Ali and ashwagandha should be microcycled, which means they're doing the 5 day on, 2 day off, or taking it every other day, something like that. Because these have more of a short-term immediate effect. So you kind of want to get the supplement in and then get it out, get it in, get it out, and things of that nature. Whereas Shilajit and boron take a little bit more time to accumulate in the body. So you don't want to microcycle because you're not giving your body enough time to accumulate the effects of that supplement. You want to macrocycle these because you want to give your body enough time to build up that testosterone boosting and then a short little break to not build tolerance. So Shilajit, you can probably get away with 1 to 2 months of it being on and then 1 to 2 weeks off. And then boron, you can probably get away with 1 month on, 1 week off, something like that. Now, again, anytime you're experimenting with your hormones or taking supplements, you always want to blood test and make sure your testosterone levels and all your other hormones and all your other vitamins and minerals are optimized so that you're not doing anything weird and not paying attention to what's going on to your body. It's not just, feeling physical symptoms. You also want to make sure that your blood results are not out of whack, because eventually you'll feel it. So you can kind of get ahead of it if you see that your blood results are a little bit off. Even if you're not feeling any symptoms currently, most likely you will eventually feel something off. So if you see something weird in your blood results but you don't have any symptoms, take that as a sign that eventually you might feel that side effect. So let's kind of fix that as soon as we can and kind of ease off or pull back on our supplementation to not make things worse. So again, get your blood levels tested frequently and always speak with a healthcare provider anytime you're swapping or starting or ending a supplement or medication. Now don't forget to go into the description and click on the videos that go over the studies of each of these supplements individually to get a better understanding of all the effectiveness and side effects of each of these supplements individually. That's it for this video. Please subscribe to the channel and I'll see you all next time. Thank you.